Most of the time, we tend to approach figure drawing from the point of view of drawing the model as a still and unmoving subject. And particularly, we focus on the anatomy, the structure, and perfection of shadows in order to render a good drawing. The danger, though, is that focusing just on that can easily lead you to treating life drawing the exact same as drawing a still life. My name is Siobhan. I share videos about figure drawing and specifically a dynamic and expressive approach to drawing the figure. In this video, I want to give some advice for life drawing, some points to bear in mind about drawing the model in real life that might be helpful if you're finding it challenging. I'm going to show you a few drawings that I did from a recent life drawing session and talk about how a live model affects the way you draw. A still life of objects or a cast or anything like that is unmoving, it's not dynamic. In the live drawing session, the model is not only moving, but is actually also present and contributing to your process. They are giving you something to work with. And this essential point is sometimes overlooked by artists and models, and I don't think we talk enough about how important the model's contribution is to the drawing. Being aware of that dynamic will really help you in your figure drawing because it makes you keenly aware of the privilege of drawing from life and the opportunity to draw movement. In any pose, the model is breathing and there is a subtle movement that you can observe, and that can be really daunting when you're trying to draw like a perfect picture. Especially during timed poses when the model might actually fully move or drift in the pose, it can be very frustrating. You can start out with a wonderful drawing of the model, but by the end of the pose, the head is in a completely different position, or the arms or the torso have drifted to the side or something like that, and suddenly your drawing just doesn't even match the pose. So really there isn't anything that you can do about that except to just keep drawing. I mean, I will often just draw over lines that have moved around, or I'll just redraw the limbs if they're in a new position. I don't really worry too much about it. I actually think it can be a very valuable lesson to accept the pose that's offered and to draw it no matter what. So it is hugely challenging to draw from life, but the movement is the crucial aspect that I think makes it all the worthwhile compared to drawing from a photo or drawing from your imagination. In a live drawing session, you can, and nearly always do, come out with terrible drawings in terms of your structure, your anatomy and proportion. But if you've engaged with your drawing process and with the movement and the dynamic that is in the room, both between you and the model, as well as the other artists working beside you, then the drawing will absolutely reflect that, and it will provide a quality that you would never get from a photo reference. To me, seeing that quality in a drawing makes it just as good or as successful as an accurate drawing that doesn't have that life. I also wanted to point out that you can, of course, use the model's pose as a starting point for your own interpretation or response. And I see people doing that a lot in the where the pose that the model offers can be treated as the basis for work that can be created within that moment and can be designed or constructed in your own way. That can be really exciting and dynamic, and it gives really interesting results. In this life drawing session, the other artists in the room were using inks and paints to create beautiful work that wasn't overly concerned with replicating or rendering the pose exactly. They used the pose just as a starting point for some really expressive paintings. But if you're interested in developing your observation skills through drawing the figure, then focusing on drawing what you see as truthfully as you can does mean that you should stay engaged with the pose, even if it's moving or even if it's a complex pose to draw. Don't let go of your observation and start drawing what you think the forms are or what they should be. I think just focusing on how you look really keeps you locked into that process, and it can make for a very honest drawing. So I made a previous video about how looking at your subject, 60 or 70% of the time versus looking down at your drawing can really help you to develop strong observational skills. And I'll leave that video linked in the description below, so definitely go and check that out. I try to look at the subject way more than I look at my drawing. And I find that that really helps me to improve my observation. So I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you got some useful information. I hope this is supportive to your drawing practice if you are going to live drawing sessions regularly. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you struggle with drawing the figure from life. I'd love to hear from you. Give this video a like if you think it's worthwhile, and definitely subscribe to this channel so that we can stay in touch. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.